sant yàlla.
looy xaar utal Wave nga scan nga fay te nag doo ci yokku dara.
Jar Oil, the company, have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
If you're an entrepreneur and your business is not yet registered, if you're looking to grow your registered business, or you're an accomplished professional, our Elevate program supports you with access to finance, access to markets, access to capacity building. Sign up now or refer a friend at ecobank.com/elevate. Elevate by EcoBank. A better way, a better Africa.
It's Monday, the 13th of July, 2026. Now, there's something they say about the 13th of the month carrying its own superstition. And today, Monday, the 13th of July, it seemed to prove true for us. Because just as we were about to begin our program, we suffered an unexpected electrical fault that forced us off the air for nearly a full hour. Well, the good news is that the problem has now been fixed. It wasn't as major as we thought it was, and we're now back in business. We trust this was only a passing glitch and hope it doesn't repeat. Thank you for your patience, and welcome back to the program. Our focus now turns to politics and governance. The ruling National People's Party, NPP, has unveiled a 9-point plan as part of its manifesto, a document that has drawn both interest and criticism. For many Gambians who haven't had the chance to read it in detail, the manifesto represents the party's vision for the country's future, outlining priorities on the economy, governance, and social development. Well, to help us understand what the plan really entails and to respond to the criticisms it has attracted, we are joined by the Administrative Secretary of the NPP. His name is Seedy Ceesay. He will walk us through the basics of the manifesto, explain the 9 points, and tell us how the party intends to deliver on its promise. Thank you, Seedy, for your patience. You should have been on since 9 o'clock, but as I said, we had this blowout, and we had to keep you waiting. But we kept you entertained.
Absolutely.
Yeah? With coffee that we will send a bill to the NPP. You should get nothing free.
I feel at home at Peter Gomez. I have to say Peter Gomez on air, but I never call you Peter Gomez. I call you Uncle Peter.
You should never be comfortable. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I often say to people, few interviews I do in a year, and one is West Coast, and I'm not doing marketing for the two.
Marketing?
But
you people, nobody can sell you anything.
I will also do one Kerfatu and Teranga FM. These are the three.
Why these three?
I don't know why, but it happens that they are always wanting for me to go.
Okay, so we invite you. The others are not interested in you.
No. That's
what this is about, isn't it?
No, you see, you have to also look at audience as well. Your audience is different from the Kerfatu audience.
Of course.
Your audience is different from the Teranga FM audience. So I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of that.
Every media house has its own audience, its own unique audience.
Absolutely.
All right? It doesn't matter whether you have 1,000 FM stations in the country.
Absolutely.
Every FM station will have its audience.
But there is also what is called cross-audience.
Yeah.
So
there's no doubt about it.
Thank you so much.
Let's talk about the manifesto and the 9-point. It's a brochure, isn't it?
9-point plan.
Okay, it's a 9-point plan, but it's a brochure. All
yes,
right?
You can.
For those who haven't read it, can you briefly explain what the NPP manifesto is about?
Thank you so much,
what does
Peter,
it aim to achieve?
for having me here. I send good morning to all our listeners, both at home and abroad. And I want to take this opportunity to send my condolence from His Excellency the President to the family of the late Mai Jane, who is a strong supporter of the National People's Party, who passed away last Saturday. The burial was yesterday. We send our condolences to the family, friends, and loved ones of the National People's Party. Thank you, Peter. It is important for us...
How big a loss is it?
A big loss.
Especially as we approach December 2026.
Yes, every life matters. And every human being has a part to play in life.
This somebody who commanded support in the hundreds and possibly thousands.
She's influential. She's very influential and very resourceful. Likewise, everybody else. So we measure her well and measure everybody well.
Okay.
But
all right.
it's very sorrowful.
Okay.
Because she's young and it's very untimely. She wasn't ill. She just went to sleep and never wake up. So, and she was also on a business trip away from the country. So definitely, it's quite shocking for us. Yes, we come to the manifesto.
Brief explanation of what the manifesto is.
It's important for people to understand that why the NPP is now out with the manifesto. As the ruling party, we innovate, others follow. We have 5 months to election, and we are the only party that is accountable to the Gambian people. We've been given a 5-year mandate from 2021 to 2026. And when we came 2021, we gave our word to the Gambian people that this is what we wanted to do. And now it is the time for the Gambian people to put on check. And we have come out and said to the people, this was the mandate that you gave us, and this is what we have done. If you go through our manifesto, you'll see when you come to, for example, education, the government of President Adama Barrow every year had built over 500 classrooms across the country. If you come to education and skill development, TBEC centers across the country. If you come to health sector, we have created primary health care across the country. We have improved health care in this country. If you come to agriculture, we have improved agriculture. If you come to youth entrepreneurship, we have young people who are getting into a lot of agro-business, youth entrepreneurship. If you come to leadership as well, we have young people that we have entrusted leadership across the country. So it is the only party that can come out and say, this is what we have done and this is what we pledge to do. And that's exactly what we have done in our manifesto.
Okay. What about the 9-point plan?
Yes, the 9-point plan is to simplify the promise that the National People's Party have for the Gambian people moving forward, 2027 to 2031, and what we have sum up from 2021 to 2026. And not only did we came with a manifesto and a 9-point plan, but we also created platforms, like the manifesto has been translated into 6 local languages. Why? Because the National People's Party believe it should be a people-centered government. It's a people-centered political party. Manifestos should not only be for the elites and those who can read and understand English language. We want to speak to my grandmother who sits in Badibu, my grandmother who sits in Wulibaro Hunda, my uncle who sits in Bruford, to understand what the National People's Party is saying. What have they done? What do they promise for the Gambian people? That's why, as we stand right now, we have the manifesto in 6 local languages.
Which are?
Mandinka, Wolof, Jola, Fula, Sarahule, and Manjago as well.
Ah, Manjago?
Yes, Manjago.
Why Manjago, not Serer?
No, we are working on Serer because we want to have the, of course, we have to understand our local language are being in deficit recently in our society. A lot of people don't want, or probably do not understand when you translate it from English to various local languages.
And is this in the form of audio or,
Audios.
Okay.
It's in form of audios.
Okay.
It's in form of audios, and these are all uploaded on our website and in the WhatsApp groups that my grandmother sitting in Serekunda Market can listen to the programs that the National People's Party.
Can you explain in clear terms what distinguishes the 9-point plan from previous promises and why Gambians should take this 9-point plan seriously this time? Because very often you hear Barrow makes promises that he doesn't keep.
I mean, when you
we hear that all the time.
I mean, of course, people are out there who are skeptics and who are critics of any government, of any movement. But what we can tell the Gambian people, as far as President Barrow is concerned, we believe that he is a man with his words. He has said that he is going to consolidate the democracy, the good governance of this country, and we have seen that. Time and time we have seen President Barrow stand out to be a champion in terms of rule of law, in terms of respecting the democracy.
They say that starts with a constitution, and we were promised a new constitution. We still don't have one.
It was not President Barrow who denied the Gambian people the constitution. That's a collective responsibility. We have a National Assembly that sits in to look at those constitutions. And when you have people, constitution building is a process. And sometimes, and there is no constitution that is 100% going to...
We did the constitution already.
Yes,
the 2020 draft was.
The 2020 draft was done.
Yeah.
But again, it was not President Barrow who single-handedly threw it out. It is the Gambian people who threw it out. Because if you are building a constitution, it's a building process. Even a house that you build, as you moved in, you make certain changes. That's what it's about, building a constitution. But if people are fixated to make sure that the constitution must be A to Z to their satisfaction, it's impossible. The contradiction is being displayed even right now. I remember in 1996, my then party, DOI, when we were advocating for voting for the 1997 constitution, the very people now who are calling that constitution not be respected by appointing the Chief Justice were the very people who were against that 1997 constitution. Then history is here for us to revisit.
Who are those people?
I mean, the very people today.
Who?
The Bar Association, for example. They were against. There are a number of people in that Bar Association, as we speak today, who were against the 1997 constitution then in the referendum. And the very people now are holding that as the gospel truth to say, we must respect this constitution. There are contradictions.
Okay, so why should we take this 9-point, seriously this time?
It's always been taken seriously. President Barrow's words have always been taken seriously. Of course, his critics will say a lot. When it comes to national security, the professionalism of the servicemen, we have seen, the work that the Barrow leadership have done to transform our institutions. Most importantly, the security sector, the police. They have come up with lots of activities, a lot of programs, capacity building for the police, accountability for the police. We have seen the Human Rights Commission have been safeguarding that as far as the security forces are concerned. These are things that President Barrow have promised, and he has lived to those promises. He has kept his promise in terms of the security sector reform, the leadership in the police sector, the respect for rule of law, the respect for citizens. We have seen that. When it comes to capacity building, we have seen young people understanding knowledge in terms of skill development. That is something that he said, and we have seen it happening. The TPEC centers have been across the country. Young people are trained. ITC, for example, if you looked at it, all the institutions that we have, the University of the Gambia, the MDI, all have been transformed into tertiary institutions, university school, for example, University of Education at the Gambia College. All these are things that he had promised and he has done it. The health sector that he talked about 2021 wants to transform the health sector. We have seen a health sector that definitely we as Gambians are proud of. We have seen the inauguration of the Farato Hospital, the food and safety institution built at Brusubi, where there were days when we have to even test, a mere apple, if it's got infected, if somebody have to have the food poison, have to be sent to Senegal.
I ate something and got serious allergic reaction.
Now we can do this. We have also got homegrown doctors, trained doctors, specialists in this country. I mean, these are promises that President Barrow gave, and exactly that's what he did. I call President Barrow a man who keeps his words.
Okay, so I see you are more focused on the 9-point plan than the manifesto. The manifesto has been widely criticized as vague and lacking detail. So how do you respond to those who say it's more rhetoric than substance?
I mean, people have their opinions, but what I can tell those who are critical of the manifesto is not vague. We are telling you what we have done. Our achievements is been written here in this manifesto. From 2021 to 2026, our achievements have been put in here. And we are telling you what we promise. It's a promise. This is what we are saying to the Gambian people. It is only the National People's Party that can come and tell you, this is what we have done, and this is what we intend to do. So for them, what they're supposed to do is to critique what we said we have done. Are they not done?
For them, who are them?
The ones you are saying who are critical. They should come and tell us, yes, you said you build 500 classrooms, over 500 classrooms every year. We found out you do not. But nobody, no single person on this planet Earth can come out and say President Barrow have not built over 500 classrooms every year in this country. No single human being can come and say President Barrow have not transformed the health sector of this country, the electrification in this country. Nobody. So what are they critical about? What are they saying we are vague about? We have said what we have done, and we promise the Gambian people, give us the mandate 2027, 2031, this is what we're going to do.
So if what you say is what's in this manifesto,
yes.
Is that a misnomer then? Because some of your opponents sat here and said it was funny that the party in government is issuing a manifesto. Rather, they should come out and tell people what they have done. So rather than call this a manifesto, should you have called it a scorecard, for instance?
I mean, when you go into election,
yes.
When you go into election, you have to have something to tell the people. It is only the National People's Party that have been in office for the last 5 years. So you have to remind the people.
You'll say 10 years.
I mean, we are talking about the 5 years, the 2021. I mean, this is when Barrow single-handedly, holds the government. Before, it was a mixed match of certain people.
So is that his second term or first term?
I mean, technically, I will call it his first term. Okay. His coalition. I mean,
because then that settles this third term thing.
I mean, in fact, for me, I don't discuss third term. I don't discuss
Why?
Why? Because I have a constitution that doesn't have term limit. Why would I waste my time to talk about term limit?
Okay.
And these very people who sing this drum about third term where are they getting it from? Before you ask
good practice.
Before I ask my wife why is lunch, I must have given my wife fish money.
Yeah.
So for them, let them look at that. So people who are being critical, the manifesto is actually talking about what we have done. And for the critics to say we don't need a manifesto as a ruling party, I think they are misguided. I mean, anywhere else in this world, wherever, you are going to an election, you must have something to present to the electorate. And for us, we must be accountable for what we promised and what they delivered. And what do we intend to deliver to the Gambian people? And it is important. Just because they cannot tell the Gambian people what they have done. Being in government, not in government, a political party in opposition is a government in waiting. What have they done? What have they contributed? This is what they should also tell us. We are waiting for them to bring their manifestos and to tell us what they have done. The internal democracy in their political parties. What do they do? The youth empowerment in their political parties. The women empowerment in their political parties. What have they done? These are government in waiting. They must come and tell us that. And then moving forward, what do they promise the Gambian people? But since they don't have anything to offer, they don't have anything to tell the Gambian people, they're busy talking about the National People's Party's manifesto. And we say thank you so much.
Okay. So beyond the headlines, what concrete steps will the NPP take to implement the 9-point plan, and how will progress be measured?
I mean, thank you so much, Peter.
You know what they say, politicians
Politicians.
They come, they make promises, all right. After, they secure office, they forget about all the promises. So what can you promise people this time?
What we can promise is continuity. Continuity in consolidating our democracy. That's one thing. In accountable governance, that's another. We are talking about continuity. When it comes to national justice, security, we are talking about continuity, building the capacity of the security forces, give them the resources that they need to protect citizens and properties. We talk about agriculture, continuity, create more access to funds to local people in terms of resource management, in terms of how do we help them with the farming inputs, how do we help them with fertilizer, all these things, and micro business as well. These are things we are talking about continuity. We are not one from nowhere. We have done something, and we are continuing on the genes of President Barrow under his leadership of the National People's Party. We talk about education. We have seen the transformation of our educational sector. We have seen the skill development. We are continuing that development. We talk about the health sector. Well, as we speak right now, we have over 50 young Gambians who are undergoing training to be specialists in various fields, in cancer, in diabetes, non-communicable diseases. This is what we are talking about. We are continuing the good work and the good leadership of President Adama Barrow.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Someone will hear discontinuity and say, no, not continuity of this rising cost of living. All right? So Which of the 9 points? Which of the 9 points directly addresses the pressing economic challenges Gambians face?
The present economic challenges, people have different take. Some will say cost of living, for example.
Exactly.
And that's cost of living. Cost of living is not unique in the Gambia. And I think what President Barrow's leadership have done, let's say, for example, rice. You know, we all consume rice. Rice is considered to be our staple diet. So unless you are like me, who will not eat rice maybe twice a week or so.
You don't eat rice?
Maybe twice a week.
Only twice a week?
Yes.
What do you
There are plenty of food you can take.
What do you take?
You can take beans, you can take couscous, you can take all sorts.
So you have couscous on Monday, beans on Tuesday.
Now, I won't sit here to count what I have. But anyway, that's the most important thing is we must have, we consider rice to be...
How do you afford that? I mean...
It's cheap, Peter. It's very cheap, very, very cheap.
Beans is not cheaper than rice?
No,
couscous is not cheaper than rice?
It depends what sort of couscous you talk about.
What do you mean, what sort of couscous?
You can get dugup and make a different type of dishes.
No, couscous and kus are different.
Whatever you call it, but couscous, and all these things are all available for us to have. Right. So let's talk about the cost of living, Peter. Rice considered to be a stable diet in the Gambia. And if you reflect back, you know, a year ago, a bag of rice was costing around about 2,000, you know, plus. Today, you can get a bag of rice for 1,700, 1,650, 1,600. So that's been a lot of work that have been done to reduce.
It was less before Barrow took over.
I mean, when you say less, how less was it? But you have to understand the global crisis that we have, the economic shock that we have around the globe. You know, Gambia wasn't producing rice. I mean, the last 20 years.
But we were buying it cheaper than we are now.
No, we aren't buying it cheaper. I remember, Peter, when I was, when 1994, I was buying a bag of rice for 135. Before Yahya Jammeh left government, how much was a bag of rice?
It was definitely not 1,700.
No, what I'm saying, 135.
$135.
Yes. I used to remember my salary was $450. I would get a bag of rice and pay my...
The first bag of rice I bought, which was a sankilo, was only $45.
Okay. So now you have answered my question now. That you bought a bag of rice for how much? $50? $45. I bought a bag of rice $135. And the kids today are buying a bag of rice, for example, $1,600. But you have to also understand... No. You have to understand, Peter, that a lot of work has been done to help homegrown rice farmers. This is also happening. And when you go to the agricultural sector, we have seen the work that the Minister of Agriculture under the leadership of Dr. Sabali is doing.
The most criticized Ministry of Agriculture.
And, you know, I mean, I'm not here to hold brief for him, but what I'm saying, we have seen the work the ministry have done to make sure that farmers, their needs and their aspirations are delivered. So definitely, the cost of living.
Why? You know, many people, especially those in opposition, not seeing this good job that the agriculture minister is doing.
I mean, you are saying those in opposition. People often see to be in opposition is to be critical at all levels.
They don't criticize the Minister of Higher Education.
Others do.
Minister of Higher Education?
Yes.
Very little opposition. Very little criticism, I should say.
Compared to the Minister of Agriculture. Probably is
so it's not like the opposition.
Probably is the nature of his ministry, but people are also out there saying a lot of stuff. But I mean, all these ministers are doing phenomenal job. They are doing very well. They are working hard. But we also have to understand our today Gambia, where anybody can just go on social media and say any sort of stories and any sort of thing. But that's the beauty of the democracy that we are consolidating in this country.
So this is just empty talk, huh? When people criticize the minister.
No, but I believe for me, criticism is like standing before a mirror to look at my face, whether I have a marker or whatever. But it is important for each ministry to listen to critics. And in fact, sometimes it is also good to engage them. You know, if you come across somebody like Peter Gomez who make an opinion, if you can reach out to Peter, talk to him. Probably Peter has been misinformed or ill-informed about certain things. And when you engage Peter, you probably, make Peter understand that some of the information that, I'm having.
So you're suggesting Dr. Demba Sabali should engage with the opposition so that they
Not
understand
actually
the good job that he's doing.
Not actually the opposition,
Because
but
he's easily the most criticized, minister, probably maybe second only to Dr. Ceesay. Interestingly enough, the doctors in the cabinet.
No. I think the critics usually comes of the people who are always out there talking, making cases for the government and for their ministries. Of course, they will come under criticism.
Okay. Yes. So what governance or accountability measures are embedded in the manifesto and 9-point plan, for instance?
Good governance and public service delivery, that's something that we are very passionate about. The government must serve the people. The NPP will strengthen transparency, fight corruption, enforce accountability, and improve public service so that citizens receive fair, timely, and respectful treatment from all institutions. This is what we believe, and this is what we created in these last 5 years, and we are continuing to consolidate that, Peter.
Okay.
It's very important.
During the fuel crisis,
yes,
there was a lot of complaints about uncontrolled fare hikes. All right. Are there concrete projects in transport, energy, or digital infrastructure in this manifesto?
Yes.
To address some of the issues in that regard.
Yes.
We complain about high cost of energy. I just spoke about transport fares.
We are aware about these challenges, and we are very honest with these challenges. When you talk about the cost of energy, of course, heavy fuel energy production is quite expensive. Today's world, in this 22nd century, we are moving towards renewable energy, and we have seen the project that happened in Jambur in terms of creating renewable energy, solar energy, providing energy. Recently, there is a project that is on the way for Jarasoma for another big energy supply from renewable energy.
The famous 150, is it what, megawatt?
Absolutely. When you say famous, famous in the sense that it's eye-catching.
Everybody talks about it.
Yes, it's happening. No, but it is happening. It is happening. So in order to bring...
Even the World Bank spoke about it when they
so
were
to
here.
talk to consider energy burden on Gambian people, we must diversify energy. We must go to renewable energy and stable energy and accessible energy for the Gambian people. And I think so far in ECOWAS, Gambia is the only country that have achieved, that accessibility of energy in the country. I think that is important. And when you talk about ITC, this is something we are working so hard. If you looked at all the TBEC centers, there's a lot of work happening. And youth empowerment, there's a lot of work that happened. There's a partnership with a lot of international bodies, the AU, the ECOWAS, and all that.
Okay, so you build all these TBEC centers, you give skills training to all these young people, and after they finish their training, what?
I mean, most of these young people, even before they finish their training, they are in placements. And these placements, most of them are retained in these placements. And also, I must commend the Minister of Higher Education and the President of this country, President Adam, for the hindsight.
He can't hear you. He's in Umrah, so...
No, I mean, he will follow Peter Gomez all the time, Uncle Peter. Remember, even where he's using this road, he give you a way for you and your staffs.
Why did you not follow him to Mecca?
I was busy.
Okay.
I mean, we have seen three very... institutions that have been created under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of Higher Education. That the Student Revolving Fund, the Tech Fund, and the Research Fund, headed by Research Fund for Professor Salla, the Student Fund, Dr. Samba, and the Tech Fund, the lady, Dr. Ndur. Yes, these are alien for many years to our country. So this is all geared towards giving the young ones the tools. I mean, we have a tech fair that is going to happen. I think it's sometime in the next week. I think it's at the OIC. Bringing young people across this country and have the professional interaction with people who will help them to map their future for them. It's very important. And it's this sort of programs that the Gambian people are yearning and the Gambian people really want. That's why the trust and confidence they have in President Adama Barrow and his leadership, they don't have it anybody because he's saying it and he's doing it. Today, a poor man like me, my son coming from
a poor man like you, my son feeds on couscous and beans and what else?
Peter, you have to understand. I want to live long like you and healthy like you, Peter. Come on, you tell us what you eat. You eat quite very stable, not the afras and all that. So
I just told you that I just survived a scare. I had some serious allergic reaction.
Uncle Peter, I always ask you this question. What is your secret? Your secret of keeping, come on, you are very close to retirement. In fact, you may have already retired, but when you come across you, it's like 40.